Okay, folks, good evening. We're going to get started. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are the Upper Canada District School Board Distance Learning Support Team. My name is Brian Reed. I'm the Vice Principal of Distance Learning Support, and I'm accompanied here with distance learning partners and technology-enabled learning and teaching contacts. So the teacher team that helps support teachers across the board and support students with distance learning and our remote learning models. We are hosting this Teams live event, but we are across the county. Some of us are in the west and some of us are up in the north and east, and I hope that you are well and joining us from across our region. So we very much appreciate you making the time tonight, and we hope you find the information that we're going to share helpful. We hope you find that it brings a sense of kind of understanding and comfort with how some of the tools are being used in our classes, and as we take on this challenge of education and remote learning during the COVID-19 pandemic, and understanding that it's quite an evolution from what we went through in the spring, and we're really glad that you joined us to do some learning along with us, and so that we can share some of the things that we've discovered so far, and hopefully help you and your families in the work that you're doing at home to support students. So just a plug as well that we have another session tomorrow night. Tonight's session is focused on Microsoft Teams. Tomorrow's session is going to focus on D2L, because those are the two core learning platforms that are being used by Upper Canada School Board staff this year. And you may have students who are using one or the other or both. And we're hopefully going to help you kind of have an understanding of how those are being used and to how to get comfortable navigating around them, so you can better support your children at home. So without further ado, I'll get us started, and then we will cruise on through with some more detailed aspects of the presentation. So I just wanted to let you know that the game plan or the goals for this evening include, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping around what this presentation looks like, a friendly reminder about who we are, where you can go and what you can do to get some supports for your student who may be learning at home. And then we'll do a deeper dive into Microsoft Teams and how that looks. Okay. So you are in a Microsoft Teams live event. So thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on making it in. There's a couple of pieces that we want to think about while we're in here. This is an opportunity for us to share information with you folks, but you are able to contribute to the direction of our conversations. When you log in, you should have access to a question pane where you can ask a question, and what will happen is there's questions that you can ask questions, and they go privately to our team, and where it makes sense to do so, we can respond one-on-one to you, and where it makes sense to do so, we can make those questions go public for the whole group to consider. And the other thing that we may do is just stop ourselves along the way every once in a while. We'll interrupt the presenter and ask a question if there's a need for some clarification or things like that. But just wanted to let you know that if you open up the little kind of comments looking box on your screen that has a question mark, you should be able to ask questions, and you'll get a bit of a back and forth with someone on the distance learning support team here. So the other thing that I wanted to let everyone be aware of is that we are going to record this evening's session, and the recording, the reason we're doing that is because there's a chance that things could change through the year, and more folks will need to be aware of the use of Microsoft Teams in their classroom. And the other reality is that not everyone who wanted to attend tonight is able to, and so we're going to make this video available hopefully on the board website so that people can review it again later. So So I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. Okay, so just again to remind everyone, so we are the distance learning support team. We're made up of elementary and secondary teachers, and myself as a vice principal, who our role is to help support the professional learning of staff and students around the use of some key tools when it comes to distance learning. And what we've certainly learned is it's not just about the distance learning, it's about, you know, doing really awesome collaborative and creative work with students in classes. We support teachers from kindergarten through grade 12, and so obviously things look a lot different in different age groups, and we're going to have parents and guardians on this call from those ranges. So please be aware that as we work through the tool like Microsoft Teams, we're going to have to discuss things from different lenses. And yeah, so the real goal is to support teachers and students, and now what we understand is that you have that kind of exact same role at home, and we're recognizing more and more that we'd like to be able to support you in different ways, and through the resources that we can share out that we'll talk about in a second, and through events like this, we'd like to help keep you informed as well, so we can all work towards the same goal, which is, you know, students and teachers having a successful year in these very challenging circumstances. So just as before we go too far down the road of Microsoft Teams, I just wanted to give everyone a quick heads up about the various ways that we're trying to support students who are learning at home. And very much a big piece of that is through the work we do with classroom teachers and through resources we share through the school, through school communication. There's actually some stuff that we sent out today that we'll be posting on the remote learning webpage. And the board website is a good resource for those kind of how-to guides and things like that. We also have a YouTube channel where we're posting videos, and the purpose of our YouTube channel is really to target the students learning at home. And we have some great videos on there that will help us with some of the topics that even we're covering tonight. And a lot of our work and resources go out through the Upper Canada School Board Communications team, and we have our social media channels as well. One of the things I want to highlight real quick, and something that we're very hopeful for, and we'll have to ask you to stay tuned on, is internally to the Upper Canada School Board, we have Ask UC, which is kind of like our help desk, our help zone for all kinds of different technology related issues and troubleshooting, and our work with our internal technicians. So we are hopeful that we're going to be able to build a solution for parents and a way that they can access technology support, because we understand that learning at home can come with its successes and challenges, and it can be difficult to get answers to questions in the moment when things kind of go awry. So we're moving forward with some options with our IT department to see if we can find some supports as well. So this is definitely, I guess what we're trying to say is that this is growing and evolving, and we're creating it a lot of things as we see the need. So we're really glad that this is kind of one of the first big parts of this journey that we're doing together. So without further ado, we're going to dig into Microsoft Teams, which is a board-supported foundational tool. So it is an online classroom space that teachers are using from kindergarten all the way through grade 12. And a really creative and collaborative tool with a ton of features that can be used to support students through this kind of we've got these 4 different models of learning, right? We've got in person, we've got students who are learning synchronously from home, so they're tuned into the classroom live, often using Microsoft Teams. We've got students who are learning asynchronously at home, and if it's through digital means, then they're very often connecting to a Microsoft Teams space get their work, or can ask questions of their teacher and things like that. And even some students who are learning non-digitally, so even with paper packages, maybe using Microsoft Teams with their teacher to do the occasional conference and things like that when they do have the opportunity to use technology. So it's a very, very robust tool that we're using K-12 in a whole bunch of different ways, and obviously that can make it challenging, because it can look different in different classrooms, and different features of the tool are used in a lot of different ways. And we'll acknowledge too that it's different than how things were in the spring. So what's great is that it's a tool that's used across the district by a lot of teachers, and very well. So it's something that we can support and focus on and create resources for to help grow our learning around it. And that's something that our team is supporting in doing. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our distance learning partners, who are going to take you through some of the things that we think are important for you to know about Microsoft Teams, and to hopefully help you get more comfortable with the tool and navigating around it, and to see some different ways that it might be used in your child's class. So again, thank you very much for joining us, and I'm going to turn it over to our distance learning partners.
Hi, my name is Tanya Mason, and I'm a distance learning partner, and I'm here with Allison McCullough this evening. And Allison and I are going to talk quickly about how to log into Office 365 and access Teams. We're going to talk about the navigation, the personal navigation through Teams, and then the class navigation through Teams as well. Allison, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Allison McCullough, and let's do this, Tanya.
Okay, so you're going to leave your microphone on now?
Yep.
Okay, great. So because neither Allison nor I can sign in as a student directly through our system, we've taken some screenshots so that we can show you what the process should look like. So give me just a moment here. And as Brian said, on our YouTube channel, we have some students from Chimo School and students from Beckwith School who have been helping us out and have been creating some videos for their fellow students. And you'll find those on our YouTube channel. So some of the videos you'll see in there are the things we're going to be talking about tonight. So how to sign into Microsoft Teams, and how to hand in assignments and how to access assignments. So to log in, you would choose your browser of choice. Any of the three above will be working. And you're going to be logging into office.ucdsb.ca.
Tanya?
Yes?
Sorry for interrupting you. We're not able to see your screen at the moment.
Okay, so we'll wait for our 10-second to 20-second delay.
There we go.
Oh,
or I see
I
it now.
do see it. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for the delay, folks.
It is for me, Tanya. You can go.
You're good to go.
Okay, all right, let's try that again. Okay, so I was just saying, in our YouTube channel, a lot of what we're talking about tonight about logging in and finding where things are in Teams have been addressed in these very short videos made by students and made for students. So when students go to log in on a computer, laptop, tablet, or on your other devices, you're going to log in from your browser to office.ucdsb.ca. When asked to sign in, students use their first name dot last name at my.ucdsb.ca, then select next and enter your child's password. So here, passwords may be a combination of some letters of the child's month of birth and date of birth. Depending on the age of the student, they may have more unique passwords. If your child is younger, the teacher will likely share this password with you. And if your child is older, then they should know the password. And if not, if you need to do a password reset, make sure you contact the teacher to let them know. So when Office 365 opens, it will open in Outlook. Every student has an Outlook email address. And in the top left corner of this email, you will find what the kids sometimes call the square of squares, the waffle. Its actual name is the app launcher, and it does exactly that. When you click on it, it launches all of the applications that are part of Office 365. You'll see a whole selection of them, and then down at the bottom where it says all apps, there are even more to explore. Students can access the online versions of these applications. They can download them for free, and they can be downloaded on PC, Mac, iOS, and Android platforms as well. If you are on a PC, you're going to look for the Install Office button, or on a Mac. If you're on a mobile device, each one of these applications needs to be downloaded separately. So from in here, when we're working in Teams, you will just select the Teams icon, and that will launch us into Teams. So Allison is going to explain the personal part inside Teams. And Allison, I'm just going to. So what we've done is we've created just a practice team. So we won't be showing any student data, but Allison is in this team as a teacher, and I am in as a student, hoping you can get the view of what students will see.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about the left-hand side, which is the Me pane. The Me pane is things for just you or just the student. So the first one, so Tanya, you'll kind of move your little mouse around. Yep.
Yep, I will.
Perfect. So if you see Tanya's little yellow hand there, it's saying activity. So as you can see, she has some notifications there. So activity is, it's kind of like a news feed of everything. So sometimes I use the Facebook analogy. You might see where someone has sent you a chat, or an assignment has been sent, or something has been added to your team. If your child is in multiple teams, it's anything from those that is showing up there. So multiple classes and multiple activity. The next one is the chat feature. And remember, it's the Me pane. So this is private. When you click on that there, you can start a chat with your teacher, maybe a small group of students that your child is working with. There's a little icon that is like I think it's a little pen maybe that starts the chat. And remember that these are private. So if you're perhaps asking your teacher a question, or your child is asking teacher a question, or they need to contact another student or work in a small group, it's all private here. There's a little notification. It's a little eye that you'll see. So you'll see a check mark when it's sent. And if you see the little eye, that means that it's read. So it's nice to know that someone has looked at it. The next one is Teams. So that's where all your teams are being held and shown. So as you can see on the side here, Tanya's got lots of teams going on, but your child might have one or two, whether they're in high school and working in a quad semester, or if they're in elementary school, they might have one for each teacher. It just depends on how it's different from school to school and teacher to teacher, but this is where the teams would be held. And it's good to know too, like it might be a course code, it might be the teacher's name, it might be their grade. The teacher has the ability to change the name. So as you can see, she's got some course code: Mason, grade 7, Link Crew 2020. So I know some high schools are setting up their guidance this way. Practice team, distance learning team. So they're named all different things. The next one is assignments, and this is kind of where you can enter all, you go in and you'll see all of your assignments for each class. It's not the best way to enter the assignments area, so we'll show you the best way when we get inside of a team. The next one is the calendar, and this one is super important. So this is where the meetings for your child's class would be held. So as you can see right now tonight, we have our UCDSB distance learning meeting. There's a little camera there showing that it is going on right now. And that's a great thing to look for your child's meeting, because that means that it is happening. It's also kind of bolded in purple because we're during that time right now. So this is where your teacher might schedule, it might be a full day. I've seen elementary teachers set it up as just, 8 to 2, and they go in and out of the meeting. For more of a high school setting, it might be scheduled blocks. So, maybe their science class is a certain time and their English class is a certain time. So again, it changes from school to school or preference from the teacher. And then files. Files is where your OneDrive is held, and the OneDrive is kind of that, cloud-like spot for your child. So each child has access to their OneDrive where they can save their files, and it's kind of everything in here. It's all the recent, I think it goes by recent, doesn't it, Tanya? Like things you've accessed or things that you've used or worked on or saved.
Yeah.
How do they do? Did I miss anything?
Fabulous. It's like You've been at this forever. I'm just going to point out. I'm just going to point out for those folks at home too that my teams right now are in a list form. When your child goes in, you might see a slightly different format. If you see my icon on the top right-hand corner, if I click on that, there's some important things we can do in here too. And in the settings, if you come in here and you want to change the way that those teams are listed, most of the students, I believe, when they come in, will actually see a grid list like this. If your child has teams from last year or teams that they're not part of, you can also hide teams by selecting the little ... at the top, and you can hide it. Up here in these settings, you can also set how you want to get notifications about activity that's happening in your teams as well. So if you click on the settings, you can come in here and then click on notifications on the left-hand side, and then select how you would like to see those notifications. So lots of choices in there. Okay.
So actually, I just kind of popped over to the questions for a second, and the file. So remember, whoever asked that question, great question. This is the me pane. So that's the student's files. So nobody is seeing those files unless you're sharing it with your teacher or you're uploading it into an assignment. So we're going to move over now to our practice team. So Tanya and I have worked on our little team here to show the buffet of things that can happen inside of your child's team.
We're just going to, if you're looking at the top of my screen, so I'm now in the distance learning practice team, and I'm in the general channel. Channels are sort of like, think of them as little subgroups inside of a group. If this were a binder, these would be the subject dividers maybe. So we're now in the general channel. Up along the top of the screen, these are called tabs, and we're in the posts tab right now. And this is a fabulous place for classes to get started with teams, because it's very social media like. you can post messages, you can post videos, we can post links that we want to share. Students can like each other's comments. They can ask questions of the teacher about assignments or things going on in the class. So it's kind of like a posting board for the class and a communication spot. So Allison's posted a fabulous welcome back message at the beginning. I see it got cut off here. So if I click on see more, I can see the rest of the questions at the bottom. So let's get to know each other. Reply to the following questions. What's your favorite food, favorite subject, one word to describe this year? So there are 2 replies. So if I click on the replies, and this is where we can take a moment to show students how to reply to a message that's already gone out and how to start a brand new conversation. So if a teacher is asking a question, I don't want to start a brand new conversation. I want to find that reply button. And I've replied 2 ways here. So I've replied with a text and some images. But if you're using Teams from a mobile device, you also have the option to audio record. So this is actually a voice recording of me putting some information into the chat as well. Allison, anything else you wanted me to show in here?
No, I think we're good. It's just, that's kind of, again, like the news feed of your team. So the way we talked about the me panel being just you, just the student. This is the we side of team. So this is the class. So anything you're writing there, other people can see.
Right.
If I can just jump in. We were just asked, my children are in both elementary. Can you show where to find their homework? I don't know if you covered that or if that was next.
Well, we'll show you different spots that they can find it, but again, it sometimes it's teacher preference where they put something.
Perfect, thank you.
And we absolutely will get to that. Thank you, Brian. And as Allison said, teachers, I mean, this is, even though we're all in the same tool, not everyone's using it the same way. And the good thing is it's a very dynamic tool. So there are multiple features within it. Some teachers may be using just a few of those features. Some teachers may be using a lot of the features, and they may not all be using them in the same way even. And then that's just shows the possibilities of all of the different ways this tool can be used. So if there are no more questions about posts, maybe we'll move on, and I'll just pause for a minute just to give our producers a moment to see if there are any questions out there about the posts. I will say that as an elementary teacher myself in the spring, I was using this location to give a morning message, to say hello to everyone, give them an agenda of what was going to happen for that day, and maybe even some links to things we were going to be doing. But it was the spot where I was hoping everyone would come in the morning to take that first look at what's going on for the day. Allison, what was that like for you in secondary?
Maybe Brian, I'll let Brian interrupt for a second.
My sincere apology. So we've had this question a few times, and I just want to mention to everybody that yes, this session is being recorded, and we hope to publish it later this week if you'd like to view it again. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. I have a secondary background. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Tanya.
Sorry to interrupt. Just people wanting to know where it's going to be published. So that they can log into it later and work along with the video. Do you know where it's going to be published?
I think, yes, on the remote learning website, it's part of the UCDSB website. And so there's the UCDSB website, and it's the remote learning link in there is where all of this will be posted, plus the resources that we were talking about earlier. Sort of the step-by-step documents.
I can show them after.
And Brian says at the end of the session, he'll take you through where that is. Okay, Allison, shall we move on to files?
Yeah, as you're clicking on there, I'll just say I have a secondary background, so I used the posts very similar to you, Tanya, in the spring, and I would do so now, kind of just as a daily update, or if I wanted to ask a general question to the class or engage the whole class.
Okay, so files is the next tab at the top. And when it opens here, so we have the class materials folder. For a student, you'll see that I have a pencil with an X through it. And because I'm showing up as a student, Allison, who is the teacher, can put content in there. I, as the student, can view that content, but I cannot edit it. So if there's something in there that I want to get a copy of, I can open up the folder. And then there is an option all throughout Teams and many of the Microsoft products. When you see this little ... it just means that there are more menu options there. So I can download this document if I want, because I know some families want their children doing paper pencil work, the same as at school. So you can download the document and then fill it out using a pencil. You can make a copy of it and put it into your own your own OneDrive and save it and work on it from there, because then it would be your own personal copy of it. But students can't edit work in here, because then if a student accidentally deleted a file or edited it, it would be edited for everyone, because this is a common area in Teams. Anything that's in here, I'm assuming that the teacher is expecting that you will download it and use it, or that it's there for reference and you just need to read it. I know some teachers are using this spot to post work where students can come in and pick it up, and others aren't using it at all because they're presenting files in a different way, and some are again just using it for resources that students may want to access. Allison, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think you did well with that.
And
can I stop you, ladies?
Please.
Yeah.
We have a question here. If students need to submit their homework, can they submit it in post too, or should they use some other form?
So they can submit it in post, but the problem then will be that it's public. So that's probably not the best place to do it, because then you're posting it there for other students to see. And the same as if you upload. So there is an option to come in here to upload content. But again, not the space where we would want students uploading work necessarily either, unless a teacher has created a folder in here. And I have seen some teachers do this, where they've created folders with the child's name on it. And then the child is expected to post their homework, upload their homework into those files. But again, this is something you'll have to talk to the teacher about, because there are definitely easier ways to hand in work in this system, which we will talk about in a second too. Any other questions, Connie?
Yes, there is one other. You might, it says you might come to this question after, but just wondering, when an assignment is posted, does it depend on the school if you're able to download the assignment and complete the assignment by typing on the page, rather than having to print the page and then upload the file?
Oh, okay, well, I think Brian's going to answer this question.
Yeah, it's a diverse answer, because we are working with, teachers are doing different things, and parents and families at home have access to different things. So we can only just show you how things are done in different ways. You might, I don't know, you might have to.
Yeah, Allison, that's a, so it's Brian here. That's a really good question. It's kind of come up a couple of times. And I think one of the kind of heart of this question is I think people are recognizing that they're working in an online space, but they're finding that there's a process where they're being prompted to maybe print something out on paper and then resubmit it electronically. So what I can say to that, folks, is I think Tanya and Allison alluded to this, is that everyone's using this slightly differently across the board, and there's different levels of comfort with these tools thus far. And so our team is working with teachers when they're ready to convert things more digitally, and so we have those supports, and we're just working. Teachers have had an extremely sharp learning curve this fall, and it was really important for a lot of people to be able to do their best to get material home to the learners at home. And as we get more comfortable and settled into our way of doing that, this will evolve, and that will be our work through the next few months, is to be able to support people when they're ready and interested, or when they say, you know what, I'm trying to do this and I'd like to do it differently. And that's the work that our team gets to do with teachers. So at this point in time, you may have a process that's not exactly what you envisioned, and it might be helpful to provide some kind of positive and constructive, communication with the classroom teacher to say, hey, this is what we have access to at home, and I think we're able to do these types of things, and let teachers know what you're ready and up for. But in a lot of ways, they're managing 4 different modes of learning, and it's been quite a challenging startup. So I guess to summarize, you see that kind of place as something that this can evolve to, and it may not be like that yet in your class, and we understand that. Okay, I'll let you take back over here, Tanya and Allison. Thanks for letting me hop in.
And if I may just jump in, we were just asked, when you save a file, does the teacher see any of the saved files? And I think you addressed this earlier, but just to clarify, I believe it comes to where you save the file. If it's on the student's OneDrive, the teacher may not see it. If it's uploaded on a student's page in Teams, the teacher will be able to see it, but can you just clarify that for me?
That's correct, Brian. So if a student is uploading it into their own OneDrive, the teacher will not be able to see it unless that document is shared with the teacher. If it were uploaded here in this area in files, in the files tab inside Teams, the teacher would be able to see it, but so would the rest of the class, unless there's a private folder set up in this area. I think we're going to move ahead to the class notebook, and then maybe we can answer some extra questions at the end. We'll just get through the class notebook and assignments, because these are kind of the meat and potatoes of Teams and how we do schoolwork. So I'm going to switch into the class notebook now. A class notebook is a digital binder, and it was the tool that we used quite a bit to collaborate with students before Teams was created. So we have some classes who have been using class notebook for ages, and others who have not. They've used other platforms and other resources that are out there. So some of the teachers who are coming in and using Teams, because they're comfortable with that class notebook, they're now folding in the features of Teams into the use of class notebook, and just finding more ways to collaborate and communicate with students. Other teachers are using assignments and files instead, and just doing it in a slightly different way. So if you want to think of a class notebook as a binder, I'm going to expand or open up this binder with the little arrow right here. Once it's open up, you can see that as the student, I have access to the collaboration space. Anything that goes on into the collaboration space, everyone can see it and everyone can edit it unless special permissions have been set up in this area. The content library is the area, again, that is read-only to students, and teachers will put content in here that they want students to be able to reference. Students cannot edit work in this area. Students can edit work in the section with their name on it. So this is my section in Allison's class. Anything that I do in here, Allison, as the teacher, will automatically be able to see. So from the very first letter I type on the page, if Allison comes in to look at it, she'll be able to see what I've done on the page. And we have an example here of what an elementary page might look like. Some of our teachers who are just moving beyond sending home PDF copies are starting to print those PDFs into OneNote. OneNote works on a container system. So when you click on the page, it creates a little container inside, and any text that's typed or an image that's put on is put in that container. So what we're working with teachers to do is to set some of the information to the background so that students can type and write over top. But if this is a page that I'm allowed to edit, if I just click on the page and start to type, I will be able to type right on the page. Also, I can use the tools in the draw tools to highlight, to write if you have a touchscreen device. One caution is if your child is using an iPad or a tablet of some sort, you will have to download, in order to get access to the class notebook, you will have to download Microsoft OneNote as well as Microsoft Teams. Allison, did you want to add anything else in here about the class notebook and OneNote and how it works?
I guess as the teacher perspective, I can go in there and I can mark up Tanya's work. I can give her feedback, and she can see it there too. So it's kind of the same way, you know, your child might be in class and they're working on something and they hand it in to the teacher, and they assess and provide feedback and hand it back. It's just all done digitally.
So in some classrooms, this might be where the teacher is instructing students to go and find work and do work. So as I said, you're going to access it from Class Notebook at the top, find your child's section, and then the assignments should be in there. So another way that a teacher can push out work for a student is to use the Assignments tab. And in here, teachers can create assignments and then attach an assignment that shows up in the class notebook. It might be a PDF, it might be a Word document, it might be a link to a video to watch, it might be a survey to fill out. It's very dynamic in the different types of content we can put in here. So Allison, which one would you like me to open up first?
Maybe the sentence sorter, because that one's linked to notebook and that might be nice to see.
Okay. So
or
as
you
the
could
student,
even open one of your completed ones too, just our daily journal.
okay. So as the student, I can see that these are the tasks that have been assigned. I can see that I've got a lot of homework to do when I get home tonight because I've gone past due on some of my assignments. And I can see that one's due today. So if I really hurry, I could get that one done on time. And then I've got 2 that are due tomorrow. The completed work, once an assignment has been handed in, it ends up in my completed work. I can go back and view it and see it in there. I can also come back and see any feedback that my teacher has given me. So I can see Allison's feedback here. I can see my marks here. All throughout Teams, if you can see where my mouse is in the top right-hand corner, there's a little icon with a book and a speaker on it. This is the immersive reader. And when you select the immersive reader, it will actually read content on the page to you. So that's a tool that many of our students are needing, and it's accessible in all different areas throughout Teams and throughout the Microsoft tools that we have. So maybe in the comments, the teacher has asked me to have a second look at something. So maybe I want to go back in and I want to elaborate those answers. And if the teacher's asking me to do something, I can reopen my document here and I can go back and turn it in again. So this is a Word document. I can see because of the icon right here. And if I click to open that Word document, if it's set up properly, and a teacher is expecting me to respond on it, when I open that Word document, you can see I'm now in Word. Teams is kind of like a work hub space. So you come into Teams to work on different applications, different Microsoft applications that are all brought into one space so you can work on them efficiently. So even though I'm in a Word document, I'm still inside Teams. So I can come in here and I can maybe add some more details. I can see that my teacher has left a comment for me here telling me that she likes my word choice. So maybe I can get some more of those great words and I can add some more text onto this page. So you can see I can just type. And also, I can choose where I want to edit this. Right now, by default, I'm going to edit it right inside Teams. But if I wanted to, I could open it up in the desktop app and I can print it and do something on it from there too if I wanted to. For students who need it, If you go into the View tab up here, the immersive reader is there, so it will read the content out to me. If I'm a student who has written output issues, I might want to use the dictate option. And with a good microphone, I could be dictating my text onto the page as well, or for some of our younger learners. So when I think I'm finished, I'm going to close this document.
And the beauty is it's saving in there, right? That's the nice thing about this platform.
That's right.
There's no place to say file save. It's being stored right in there in real time. I could go in as the teacher while Tanya's working on this, whether she is at home or she's in front of me, and I can see what she's doing.
And then the option is I can then go in and use the turn in again option to hand it back in again, and letting my teacher know that I've done some more work on it. Here's a document that's going to open up in that class notebook in OneNote. So in order for me to open this on a mobile device, again, I'm going to need that Word app installed, or I'm going to need the OneNote app installed, as well as Teams. This one happens to be in OneNote. So when I open it, again, I don't have to go out, open OneNote, go into OneNote, find my section. It's going to open the assignment for me right here. And this is some of the work we're starting to get into with teachers, showing them how to embed links in here, and then also how to put content on the page so we're maybe not necessarily having to print it out to do something for our little learners, but having some objects that we can move around on the screen and complete activities this way instead. So again, both of those examples, whether it's opening in Word or opening in OneNote, these are ways that we can get students responding digitally right on the page without having to print out and then re-upload the work. I'm going to close this and just point out too, if you happen to have Teams on a phone or on an iPad, with this add work option, so if I wanted to upload something more to add in, more than what's here for my work, or if the teacher has just given you instructions to write a paragraph in a Word document, students go into Word, create that document, and then select the add work, which will allow them to upload work. What's really great about this on a mobile device is if you're taking pictures of a younger student's work, you can upload it right from your phone in Teams, and it will get handed in for the student right from here. And there, upload from this device. So here I could go to my OneDrive, I could go to, if I've got it saved on the desktop, I can grab that document and upload it, which will hand it into the teacher. Or I can go to the camera roll on my device, or I can go to the camera on my device and take a picture of something. So maybe it's an activity the student is doing as opposed to a document. I'm going to pause there. Allison, did you have anything you wanted to add there before we go to questions?
Yeah, maybe just point out where the brand new turn in button is. So when you have an assignment for the first time.
Are we all watching?
It's my favorite part.
You should be rewarded with an animation when you hand something in.
Treasure chest today, awesome. And it date and time stamps it, and then maybe show them where it goes into your return spot. A lot of people are asking about feedback and where they can see their child's feedback. So after say me as the teacher, I'm handing something back to Tanya with feedback. We talked earlier about that me pane and the notifications, the activity. So you'll actually receive like your child will receive a notification or see the red dot for chat. It would be an activity. It would be in the team, kind of prompting them to look, hey, my teacher has sent something back to me, and here I can look at it. If they're working in class notebook and they are providing feedback just in there, just some, I don't know, some general formative assessments, like maybe it's not a major thing, you might have to go back in and maybe look through your child's notebook to see just if it wasn't linked to an assignment. Does that make sense, Tanya?
Yes, it does. And also, I was showing in Word too. So the teacher might, sorry, I'm just waiting for the document to open. So in Word, the teacher might be typing on the page, might be highlighting things, circling things, or leaving comments with this little comment option. And in OneNote, they might be writing on the page. We even have the option to put stickers in. I know last year with my students too, I did a lot of personal chats with students too, and I might give them some auditory feedback instead of writing on a document as well. So there are many different ways to give that feedback, and this feedback this way is all private between the teacher and the student.
We're good, eh, Tanya? Like that's kind of our little overview.